Hi guys, Louis in the UK. Got a bit of a man flu today. Louis poorly. I made myself a couple of hot sort of soupy type meals. Yeah, hot to try and sweat it out of me. I never get colds. I haven't had a cold for 2 years. So uh, I do. I feel all right during the day, but at night trying to sleep was not very good. I took some paracetamol. But I'm good enough to make these. And by popular demand, everyone keeps saying to me, put your hat on. And someone said, what does the word say? It says EP, two initials, EP, Elvis Presley, the voice, the artist, the man. So, and it was bought for me by Donna Presley and Karen. So, and they posted it to me with their lovely book. So I know a few of you have been ordering this. It's at, let me just try and remember. Donna, you email Donna Presley, Donna Presley Books dot gmail.com. Is that it? Donna Presley Books. I know, I got it. Donna Presley Books at gmail.com. And then I'm guessing that they respond on the email and it all happens from there. This is lovely. This is lovely. I've been reading bits of it. We're going to read some of it on here as well. But you know, I'm funny about reading books, guys. I don't really like reading, but not just that. I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to. So I got myself a cup of tea here, but it's a bit strong. So I'm gonna dilute it a bit so it's not too strong. I don't like strong tea. I don't like weak tea. I like it in the middle. I do tend to have just like a quarter of a spoon of honey, not a whole spoon, not half a spoon, a quarter. Because believe it or not, guys, honey is actually a bit fattening, and of course it's sugar. And too much sugar is not good for you. So I try to not have any sugar in my diet at all. Dr. Ken Berry actually messaged me yesterday. I couldn't believe it. Dr. Ken Berry is the main doctor that I use to recommend the carnivore diet, the keto diet, and he actually messaged on my YouTube channel. So I thought, well, amazing, because he's the king of carnivore, the king of keto. So I was honoured. He's got 3.6 million subscribers, and his wife Nisha runs her own channel as well. His wife Nisha, who is like a registered nurse and many other things. So Dr. Ken Berry, yeah, you can't get better than that. When the king of carnivore, the king of keto, messaged me on my YouTube channel. That's the third time he's messaged me now, so I'm very honoured. Thank you, Dr. Ken Berry, if you ever watch me. I have a feeling that Dr. Ken Berry does watch some of my shows. Yeah? Right. So you're going to find this a bit odd. It just appeared on my YouTube channel because they dub all of the voices. So the man interviewing is dubbed, Priscilla is dubbed. But I tell you what, I am horrified and disgusted by how Paul, Elvis, and Lisa are portrayed, and other people, including Michael Jackson. And I'm like, nah. This only happened, I think, yesterday or the day before. It's got 1.11 million subscribers. RTL. I don't know it. I haven't read the comments. Maybe we could read a few after, but a lot of them will not be in English. I don't even know where this YouTube channel originates. You tell me, guys. I'm just seeing if it says. But you tell me where this is, guys. We're going to play it. I am going to defend Elvis, Lisa, and the Bloodline. And do you know, I'm even going to defend Michael Jackson. I know that. Come on, I know there's strong feeling about Michael Jackson, guys, but we were all Michael Jackson fans, weren't we? Yeah. Before the allegations, we were all Michael Jackson fans. Come on, every one of us. And I'm always shocked when Priscilla says, "Oh, you know, Michael Jackson just wanted to get with Lisa for publicity." I'm like, what are you talking about? Michael Jackson, when he got with Priscilla, was probably the second most famous person on the planet next to Elvis. He didn't need anyone to give him any form of publicity. I'm sure I'll get a reaction on that as well. But he didn't need to have... The other thing that everyone keeps saying is that Michael Jackson wanted Presley's baby. Why? He was a Jackson. They're probably the most famous family that ever lived. I'm on about, celebrity singing family. Yeah. Not, not the most, but one of the most. Yeah. Obviously, Elvis will always be number one. But you get what I'm saying, guys. And if you sort of understand the relationship between Lisa and Michael Jackson, she very quickly realized that he was pretty underneath the surface, because obviously he had a very unusual image. She quickly realized that actually the real Michael Jackson was pretty normal. Some of you are going to disagree with that. And she says in her book, she says it was one of the happiest times of her life. Same goes for Riley Q. She says how happy they were and her memories at Neverland. And even after they divorced or split up, whatever you want to call it, Lisa stayed friends with Michael Jackson. So, it's complex, guys. I know we're always going to get a big reaction. Me, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I don't really want to refer to the allegations. That's just how I feel. Yeah. But I've been a fan of Michael Jackson since the 70s. I liked him when I was a little boy, like him. I was a fan of Michael Jackson before before he went solo, when he was with the Jackson 5, So I'm just being honest. Yeah. Some of you may be against Michael Jackson. Well, that's completely fine. Completely fine. However, whatever your feelings are with Michael Jackson, it's up to you. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what to think. Right. So we might have to do this in two halves. It takes a little bit of getting used to because it's done in whatever that language is. I don't know what language it is yet. Yeah. But obviously it's dubbed in English. It's AI. But let's just, every time that Priscilla lies or twists the truth, or if his questions are demeaning, embarrassing, degrading to Elvis or Lisa, I'm going to jump in and defend. Okay, guys? So welcome to Defending Elvis. Thanks for joining me. To all the new subscribers, thank you so much. We've had over 300 new subscribers. Yeah, so welcome aboard. Thanks for joining Team Elvis. Thanks for joining our group, our movement to defend Elvis. You are now part of Team Elvis. Thank you. If you want to be a member, it's only $1, whatever it is. I like it when people are members, but there's no pressure. Anyone that buys me a coffee, thank you, but there's no pressure. Yeah, I don't force people to buy me coffees or send me super thank yous. If you like what I do, if you're grateful for what I do, if you want to say thank you, and you feel like buying me a coffee or sending me a super thank you or paying $1 to be a member, thank you. That's it. No pressure. Okay, guys, let's go.
Hello, Priscilla Presley. Good morning. Good morning. It's been 48 years since Elvis passed away. You spent 13 years by his side. You divorced. That was in 1973. You were 28 years old. You had been in a relationship with him since you were 13. And in the book, you describe...
Whoa, right. Let me play that all again. This is going way too fast. The 13 thing is laughable.
Hello, Priscilla Presley. Good morning. Good morning. It's been 48 years since Elvis passed away. You spent 13 years by his side. You divorced.
Right. First thing. She wasn't with him 13 years. You have to break it down properly. You've all heard me say this before, but I will keep repeating it until the cows come home, because people need to know the truth. Let's keep it short so this video doesn't go on for hours. She moves over around 1963. By 68, they're all over because she's unfaithful. Okay? Months after the baby was born, she's unfaithful. That's it. So it's over. There's no 13 years. But okay, let's go with the bullshit. Let's go with the documents. They married May the 1st, 67. And it was officially over. I can't remember the actual date. Is it October 73? Well, that's 6 years. Yeah. You don't then count, because obviously he's just said 13 years together. You don't then count the time when they were divorced as part of the time they were together. Okay, let's try and be a bit fair. Elvis meets her when she's 14 briefly in Germany. They were just friends, so you can't count that. Elvis then goes back to America. He doesn't then see her again until, I think, 62. There's a couple of visits. Think about it, guys. 59 they meet. By the middle of 62, she's visited a couple of times. So, okay, she was staying around Elvis, possibly at Graceland's, 63 and 4 and 5 and 6. So there's a possibility they were dating for those years, between 62 and 66. Okay, so you can add that on. Yeah. So 4 years romancing, but Elvis lived as a single man. He was clearly seeing other people. Okay. Possibly she was as well. Yeah. Elvis was not married, not engaged, didn't have kids. He lived as a single man when Priscilla first moved over, which must have been tough for Priscilla. I always say that. There's rumors that Priscilla was also unfaithful. Okay. So you got those 4 years. Then you've got the 3 years. So then we've just said after she's unfaithful, no, after they're married. So then you've got 67, 60, she's unfaithful in 68, 69, 70. By 71, it's all over. In fact, I watched an interview of her yesterday admitting that they were over in 1971. It was over. So that all this 13 years is just bullshit. It's all part of the lies. I've actually heard Priscilla say 17 years. 17 years. It's all crap. You can't count the time that they weren't together as time that they were together. That's bullshit. She'll try and give the impression that they were good friends and all that. I'm sure there probably was times when they got on okay, but nah. She ripped him off. She was unfaithful. She tried to take his home, Graceland's, with this massive debt, in my opinion. So everything I say is just opinion sharing, discussion, YouTube channel. It's not fact. It's just we share opinions and we discuss it on a YouTube channel for entertainment purposes.
That was in 1973. You were 28 years old. You had been in a relationship with him since you were 13.
I think I've already answered that question. No, there wasn't. More lies.
In the book, you describe a relationship halfway between paradise and a golden prison. What remains for you?
Oh, it's so tiresome. It's so tiresome. When Priscilla talks about this prison that she lived in at Graceland, bear in mind she moved from Germany, a very normal house, probably a nice house, with her parents, to a mansion, a celebrity life, the life of the royal family, basically. She had complete freedom. She had her own car. She could go off and do her different clubs and other things that she got involved with. Many things, in fact. She had friends, family, relatives. She had the wives of the Memphis Mafia. She had the Presley family. There was lots going on. Lots of women and men all at Gracelands. Yes, Elvis would go away. This is probably the biggest question asked. Yeah. Why did Priscilla all give it all up? I know why. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Yeah, my version, Louis' version. She liked other men, fancied them, wanted sex with other men. I know that sounds brutal and crude and blunt, but it's the bloody truth. She also got a taste for fame, fortune, success, business, being an entrepreneur, modeling, wanted the craving of being in the spotlight, being adored like Elvis, being on TV, being on film, being in the tabloids and magazines, being the talk of the town. Priscilla wanted it. She hid it from Elvis, I think. Yeah. I didn't think Elvis at first realized just how much Priscilla craved the spotlight. I think it was a bit of a secret. Yeah. She also very greedy, very greedy. They say that she was a very spoilt teenager, that she was given everything by her parents. Yeah. I think that carries on. That carries on. Please, when I say these things, guys, this isn't about hate. I don't hate Priscilla. I just expose her wrongdoing to Elvis and to Lisa. I really want the world to understand this isn't a sweet, innocent, virgin, shy, quiet person that had no interest in fortune or money or fame. She's the opposite. The opposite. I don't think Elvis gets to see the truth, Priscilla, until really after they get married.
I didn't give up, we stayed friends. I just couldn't live like that for the rest of my life.
Do you know what? I do think there was some friendship when Elvis calmed down, and she mentions it in her new book. I think once Elvis calmed down with the Mike Stone thing, obviously the karate champion that she was unfaithful with, secretly seeing for a year, lived with him for 4-ish years. Yeah, Mike Stone. I do think things eased off, and for the sake of Lisa, they would do things together sometimes for Lisa, for the public. Elvis wanted to be seen that they had an amicable, friendly separation, but not after the second divorce settlement. When she went for the jugular, some blame Robert Kardashian, her other lover, because obviously he's a high-powered lawyer. When she went back for the second divorce settlement, I think there's no way they could have been friends. Elvis and Vernon would have feared losing their home. I think they were arguing over Lisa a lot. I think they were arguing over money a lot, over the divorce settlements. The debt is placed on the house Graceland in 1977 when Elvis was not well. Elvis was very unwell. The last couple of years, he was very unwell. Okay, guys? Heavily medicated. So there's no way I think they were friends towards the end. No way. I don't care what she says.
And the reason I found out there were these girls all around, I went to our house in Palm Springs.
So that she does keep selling this, selling, that's a good way of putting it. This is just the black guys. It's like, oh, I caught Elvis. There was letters being sent to him and he was clearly seeing other people. Yeah, they both were. I'm not saying Elvis wasn't. They both were. Priscilla was, and so was Elvis. They were as bad as each other. Let's keep going.
That's where he used to go when he came back from Vegas.
It's all blaming Elvis. It's Elvis's fault. I did nothing wrong. I'm an innocent victim. Poor me and bad Elvis.
I went with a cousin and a good friend of mine, Pat, and the house was a mess. I figured it was time to go. I checked the mail. I got the mail. All the letters were from women who said, "We had a great time together. I'm so glad I met you. I wish I could see you more." I realized he had a kind of double life.
They both did. They both had a double life. I'd love to see Priscilla go, oh yeah, I was sleeping with the dance instructor and karate champion. I slept with a dance instructor within a year of the wedding, months after Lisa was born. Then say what Elvis did wrong.
And that, the woman in love that you were, couldn't bear. Absolutely, yes. And no, I wasn't going to. It wasn't up to me to bear that, and I still love him today, even though he's gone.
Do you see that? I can't put up with it no more. I had to get out. I still love him today, which is laughable because she divorced him, ran off with other men, was secretly dating another man for a year who was his acquaintance. But I still love him today in 2025. Come on, guys. How many years ago was that? So if they split up in 1971, really, one-ish, she was sleeping with Mike Stone for a year, by the way, who she ended up living with and forcing her daughter to live with a stranger, Lisa Marie. Come on, guys, work it out. 56 years ago. I still love him today. I want to be buried next to him today. Come on. Even though she's had very, very long relationships with other men. Unbelievable.
He really was a wonderful human being.
So I left him.
It was a decision, a personal decision. I didn't want to be the...
Yeah, she wanted to go off to the world and bonk and be famous and have money.
The kind of woman who was one of many women. You saw his condition deteriorate, lose his splendor.
So here we go. Let's see just how, I haven't watched all of this. I've watched bits of it. Let's just see how much she can trash and belittle and take away Elvis's dignity with her words. I know that it's AI, which is a bit irritating, but here we go. I watched his condition deteriorate. How about this? You divorced him around, well, 73 is official, but you were gone in 72, right? You weren't even around it after the divorce. After 72, you weren't there. You weren't living there. Yes, you would drop off Lisa. You would pick up Lisa, but you weren't there. Yeah. So 73, no, I would say the second part of 72, all of 3, all of 4, all of 5, all of 6, all of 7, up until he dies. You're not there. You just pick up your daughter and drop her off. So you say, I watched him deteriorate. Of course, we know that the prescription medication and his health decline, there was a massive decline in his health in the last couple of years. The prescription medication clearly had horrible side effects, caused many problems. I accept he could have been abusing them, taking too many. Elvis just wanted to get better. He was very sick, couldn't sleep, serious stomach problems, serious health problems, many health issues. Yeah. So he was trying to take whatever he could get from his doctor, sometimes other sources, to try and get better. But there was always one reason. I want to get better. I don't want to be in pain. I want to fix my health problems. It was always that. Never to get off his face, to get stoned. It was never like a street junkie who just wants to get out of it. Elvis wanted to get better. I do agree, from ages 41, 42, it had got out of control, I would say. But what about up until then? So she says, oh, I really noticed a big decline in Elvis. Well, hang on a minute. If we go from the period of, say, let me just think, they were over in 68. Well, in 68, Elvis comes back with a 68 comeback special, which is the most amazing thing in the world. And look how healthy and glowing Elvis is. Then he does the 69 comeback at Vegas, where he absolutely looks fantastic. I would say right up until 74, Elvis is still looking amazing. She's there going, oh yeah, we split up, and then I just noticed his decline. It's like Elvis wasn't, how can I say, Elvis didn't look really sick for his whole life. I agree, the last 18 months, it's clearly evident he's got puffiness on his face, his tummy's puffy. He's just different. The medication is taking its toll. I agree with that. But up until 40, remember he died at 42. So you've still got that very long span of life. So he gets famous in the 50s. He looks amazing in the 50s, amazing in the 60s, and nearly the first half of the 70s. He looks fantastic. So now Elvis wasn't this strung out of his head junkie for years and years and years. I agree. The last few years, the prescription medication was doing damage.
After 40, Elvis gained a lot of weight. It was all because of medication. When he was no longer on stage or on tour, he would collapse.
When he was no longer on stage or on tour, he would collapse. Okay. Remember, she wasn't there.
He loved being on stage, on tour. He loved all those women where he really went to the doors of he loved to meet them and talk to them.
But who doesn't? Who doesn't meet and talk to their fans? Even now in 2025.
He loved an Elvis Presley notebook.
But the fall, his condition deteriorated as he lost his splendor. He swallowed a monstrous quantity of barbiturates and opioids, drugs intended for people at the end of their lives to ease their pain.
There's no proof of that. There obviously is proof that he was being given a lot of medication because he had so many health problems, couldn't sleep, and it wasn't like he was he was being given medication for one thing. He had lots of chronic health problems.
You who saw it firsthand, how do you explain the way he destroyed himself?
You saw it firsthand. Well, she would have seen him when she picked up Lisa, and dropped her off. But a lot of the time, guys, she wasn't there. When you speak to Ginger Oldham, when you listen to Donna Presley, Priscilla paints a horrible picture. Yeah.
And he took his medication, it calmed him down. He was very nervous at times and his medication helped him and the doctor gave it to him. Sometimes, I try to put myself in his shoes and imagine all that he had to deal with. It was
Well, she didn't do that when she was shagging Mike Stone for a year behind his back.
really enormous. So, the stimulant medication, you could say that it helped him continue to cope with all that and everything that was also happening around him at that time.
She loves to keep bringing up the fact that Elvis had a problem with prescription medication. How would Elvis feel about this? That she sat on this program constantly talking about basically him being stoned. That's what she's doing here. And eventually she'll go on to say the same about Lisa. She'll go on to say the same about Michael Jackson. All of it is, how can I make everyone else look bad? How can I blame everyone else for everything and not take any responsibility myself, meaning Priscilla, or apologize for any of my wrongdoing, or even admit any wrongdoing?
But he was aware that it was killing him little by little.
Well, that's the words of that man, but no, I don't know if he was aware. I think Elvis thought he was fixing himself.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he was aware of it. I think he fed on it. It was his life. He had to
Well, it wasn't his life. Yeah, he was an entertainer, but carry on.
stay in shape. There was depression in his life. His mother was similar.
So, right, here we go. Right, so she talks about depression. I can't comment. I've never ever heard anything to say that Elvis was actually depressed. I don't know. You tell me, guys. But now she's going to talk about Gladys. Now, remember, Priscilla never met Gladys. I know she likes to talk about Elvis as if she was in Tupelo with him, as if she was close to Gladys. She never met Gladys ever. So everything she says concerning Gladys pre-1958 is just her making it up. Seriously, she's literally making it up as she goes along.
She also had problems with medication.
How do you know? But I will say this. It's pretty normal in any decade, not just the 50s, that when you're sick, you go to your doctor. We know that Gladys was not well. Yeah, she died at 46. It's bloody obvious. So what if she was on medication? So what? So what if she had enough medical problems where she died at 46? Yeah, she was being prescribed probably quite a lot of different medications, prescription medications from a doctor. There's nothing wrong with that. You basically I feel that you're calling Elvis's mum, Gladys, you're sort of calling her a junkie. You're trying to tie her in with Elvis. You're going, oh, well, if Elvis, had a problem with being overprescribed, or call him a druggie if you want, then Gladys was a druggie as well. You get it? You get the game she plays. But also, why does she bring it up? Do you think Elvis would be happy that she sits there and goes, oh, yeah, Elvis had a problem with pills and so did his mum. Oh, yeah, Elvis had a problem with depression and so did his mum. Do you think Elvis would be fine with that? Okay, well done, Priscilla. I looked after you for decades, gave you everything you could dream of, and now sit on an interview and trash my mum and call me a junkie. Get it, guys?
She was a very delicate, very nervous person.
She wouldn't know that. She wouldn't know that. She never met Gladys. Many say that they don't think Gladys would have liked Priscilla.
Elvis being Elvis with all his fans, she saw everyone running towards him and she saw what happened when he died in her memory. And that's when she too became a bit like him. And when you see
Oh.
him destroying himself the way he destroyed himself with his medication, you tried to save him. He hid so many things and did so.
Oh, God, my God. Well, I'm going to rewind that a little bit. She's still speaking on behalf of Gladys, who she never met.
Elvis being Elvis with all his fans, she saw everyone running towards him and she saw what happened when he died in her memory. And that's when she too became a bit like him.
She's making it up as she goes along.
And when you see him destroying himself the way he destroyed himself with his medication, you tried to save him.
Even that, the way that that is worded, I know it's AI dub, but he got sick at the end of his life is when he got very sick. Can we try and remember Elvis lived through his 20s and 30s as well and did so much and looked amazing and looked very healthy.
He hid so many things and did so well. It was sometimes difficult to know where he was at and he was so used to this life. So yes, of course, I was very worried.
No, she wasn't. She was in bed with other men for decades. She was with Marco Garibaldi for over 20 years. She was with Michael Edwards, who was abusing her daughter, allegedly. She was with him for 6 to 7 years. He wrote a book about his relationship with Priscilla. And we all know that in that, he has admitted being in love with a minor. We also know that Lisa Marie put it in her own book, From Here to the Great Unknown. So, and before that, she had other boyfriends like Mike Stone, like Robert Kardashian, and others. So I don't know what she's talking about.
My parents had always told me, never take medication without knowing exactly what you're doing. And I thought the doctors were there to help him.
Well, I really don't know what she's talking about. Yeah? So you've got Elvis, I don't want to start going into all his illnesses. We've just played a Donna Presley video where she discusses his health problems. She was there. She's a Presley. I wonder if I can just find, she lists off some of his health problems. Let's have a look, see if it's here, guys. The doctors gave him what they felt was right for him. Yeah? Don't forget, as he got more unwell towards the end, they were fighting. It was almost an impossible battle because he was just so sick. Yeah. So here we are. They say he suffered from complex combination of serious health conditions, twisted colon, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, gastric ulcers, glaucoma, chronic insomnia, among other things. Yeah, the doctors gave him prescription medication, a lot of it. Yes, there's a possibility it was abused. Who knows the effects these prescription medications were having on Elvis's body, the side effects. But what was he supposed to do? He was really sick, couldn't sleep, in pain. What is he supposed to do? Just carry on as if and do nothing and not take any tablets, not turn to his doctor? He did the only thing that any of us can do. If I became unwell now, I'd go to my doctor. He'd give me some pills. There's nothing else you could do, guys. Elvis did what everyone does. Forget the fact that he's a superstar. Elvis just did what all human beings do when they are sick and in pain. They go to the doctor, get tablets, get pills. Pretty normal.
I tried to put myself in his shoes. There was so much going on.
Try and blame it on drugs. Let's see what she says.
That was the only thing they could tell, that his heart had failed. They couldn't.
Trashes her own daughter.
Became the queen herself. She was fascinating. Is that this position gave her a sense of omnipotence that you had trouble managing?
Now, before she starts talking about this, I know that Lisa Marie could be a bit of a rebel, quite a difficult young girl, even obviously then when she becomes a teenager, quite difficult. Yeah, quite anti-establishment. You know how it is, guys. Who isn't? Who isn't? I challenge anybody watching this program now, who, no matter how old you are now, tell me that you weren't naughty when you were 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Come on, guys. Yes, she was reckless, rebellious, and she demanded her own way, and she was up to no good. We all were naughty, come on. But this is different. Lisa was abused, allegedly abused by Michael Edwards. Yeah. Lisa was dragged away from her father, age 4, to live with Mike Stone, the karate champion. She didn't want to go, guys. She wanted to stay with her dad. She had to wake up every day with a complete stranger just because Priscilla wanted to bonk this karate champion who was married, who had a wife and 2 kids, who also was pregnant. Get it? So Lisa's been forced to live that life, to be dragged away from her home, away from her father, Elvis. Get it? Then let's jump forward. Elvis dies when she's only 9. Could you imagine the hell that was? And then eventually, when Priscilla is with Michael Edwards, he's abusing her. Allegedly abusing her. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes, not a fact. Just an opinion. So no wonder Lisa Marie was a difficult teenager, a difficult young girl. No wonder. Could you imagine the hell that she went through when she was a young child, a teenager, a young lady in her 20s, even 30s? The memories that she had. Almost everything that went wrong in Lisa's life was caused by her mother, Priscilla. Almost everything. Let's keep going, guys.
To a certain extent, yes. It was concerning.
Now remember, at this time, Priscilla's partying. She's known to be having parties, sex parties, it's alleged, snorting coke. When Lisa gets older, even doing coke with her mum. This is all alleged stuff, guys. Some of the things in this book, Michael Edwards' book. She was hell-bent on her career, her future, becoming famous, making movies, being on TV, being a model, promoting products, being in business, opening Biss and Bow and other things that she did. She did many business ventures. This is a very ambitious woman at the cost of her daughter. Because while she was out being ambitious, her daughter was left alone. The daughter was the victim. Priscilla would travel for weeks without Lisa, left with a boyfriend who allegedly was abusing her for weeks. So
She was very close to her father, and his death of course affected her a lot, and I took her here to Europe thinking that I had to escape the news.
Even that, guys, we need to do some more research. But as far as I can tell, when Elvis died, Lisa was sent to a summer camp. And then, yes, as Priscilla just says, Lisa took her traveling around Europe. Yeah. But think about it from Lisa's point of view. She has the Presley family. She has her immediate relatives. Priscilla's answer is to go traveling, to travel Europe. How would you feel if you had some traumatic things happen in your life, like losing your father, later in life, your mum's boyfriend touching you up? Is it okay? Should we just go traveling? It doesn't fit right to me. Remember, it is Priscilla's responsibility to keep Lisa safe. She's the responsible parent to protect Lisa. That was Priscilla's job.
I didn't want to read the newspapers, and sometimes even at the grocery store, we saw the headlines talking about Elvis' death. That's why I said to myself, I really have to take my daughter and protect her from all this. That's why I went to Europe, France, Germany, Italy, just to show her another life where she could flourish.
So not because she wanted to do it, not because Priscilla loves traveling. I've seen a couple of interviews where Priscilla boasts about how she loves traveling. There's even a hint the relationship with Julio Angles and other people. So she didn't do it because she wanted to do it. She did it because she was trying to protect Lisa. Does anyone fall for this, guys? Do you fall for it?
To get away from all this news and all this information on TV. And yet, still a minor, she consumed cocaine, alcohol, sedatives before weaning herself off them.
Thanks, Mum. Oh, thanks, Mum, for going on TV after I've died, or going on YouTube after I've died and letting people know the drugs that I consumed. You've really helped my image and reputation. I wonder what her children think. What would Riley and Finley and Harper think of this? Of Priscilla going around the world, doing these interviews, talking about Elvis's bad habits, her daughter Lisa Marie's bad habits publicly to millions of people. Do you think they'd mind? Do you think Lisa would mind these words that are being said right now by her own mother?
All your life, you fought your family's addictions. In the Presley family, the drugs were a vital need.
Here we go now. So now we are going to cast a shadow over all the Presleys and call them all drug addicts, call them all junkies.
It wasn't really my family as such, it was more Elvis' family because his mother had similar problems and was being—
Oh my God, that is as bad as it gets. Let me just play that bit again just to show you just how horrible she is. Not only does she make sure that her own family don't get blamed, she now is going to blame it on Elvis's family, bearing in mind she took drugs. Priscilla, she took them. So we know Navarone does, but even reversing back, I just think, isn't this disgusting? The horrible portrayal, trying to now blame everything on Elvis and his family. Unbelievable.
addictions. In the Presley family, the drugs were a vital need.
Did you hear the words, guys? In the Presley family, the drugs were a vital need. Now think about it. When people get sick, they go to their doctor, they get prescribed drugs, prescription medication. Honestly, it's now a crime to get ill, to be unwell, and to go to your doctor to get help, to get prescription medication. You're now a druggie.
It wasn't really my family as such, it was more Elvis' family because his mother had similar problems and was being treated for depression.
Which we don't know about, we can't prove.
And I really hope my daughter get over her depression too. I didn't know for a very long time that she was drinking and taking all these drugs until quite—
Oh, here we go. Let's throw in the Gladys was an alcoholic bit and a druggie. Let's keep going with just how disgusting Priscilla's mouth is.
late in my life.
You talk about Lisa Marie's express marriage to Michael Jackson.
Daughter get over her depression too.
Right, I want to play that again before he jumps over. Now, after this, we're going to trash Michael Jackson, yeah? This book was supposed to be about life after Elvis. Softly as I Lie to You.
I didn't know for a very long time that she was drinking and taking all these drugs until quite late in my life.
How would Elvis feel about Priscilla saying about Gladys's drinking and pill taking? How would Lisa feel about that? Lisa Marie, her daughter. I'll go a step further. How does Riley, Finley and Harper feel? There actually has been some press releases now about Riley Q, and we're going to cover this later, that she's now upset about the things that Priscilla is going around the world saying in these interviews just so that she can promote her book. She's saying some pretty damning things about them, Riley, Finley and Harper's mum, about Riley, Finley and Harper's grandfather, Elvis.
Talk about Lisa Marie's express marriage to Michael Jackson in the Dominican Republic in 1994.
So she's going to turn her sights to trashing Michael Jackson.
It's fascinating in the book. Did you ever feel this famous Michael Jackson, Priscilla? No.
No, I never felt him. Why?
I know what's coming.
I knew a lot about Michael. I had read about him, and since he was young at the
Yeah, he was the most famous man on the planet for a while.
time, I thought to myself, and given the relationship Michael had with his family, he wanted to spend time with them, alerted the press, and the press fed off this alliance.
Sorry about the gaps, guys.
I witnessed all this noise and I really wasn't happy about it at all.
You really think that was it a PR stunt, given that he was accused of sexually abusing minors that same year? Did he actually need this marriage to divert attention from the accusations against him?
See, look, I understand how people can believe this, guys. But actually, if you read Lisa's book, even Riley's words, Riley Keough, she says it was one of the happiest times of her life. It was a genuine marriage. They even stayed very close after they split up as well. So I get it, the whole divert. I've never thought that it was to divert anything. I just think they just they hit it off. That's the bottom line. They hit it off. Yes, things didn't work out, but they still stayed friends. The fact that they stayed very close friends means a lot as well.
That's
A very good question. Today, I really don't know.
She clearly just never liked Michael Jackson. It's very obvious.
I didn't know him very well. It's true that he was really cold and distant with me. So maybe I had put my finger on something. I couldn't tell
Or he just didn't like you.
you. I really didn't know him very well. I know that there were people who adored him. I honestly wish I had known him better.
People? Come on, tens of millions.
It didn't happen that way, but I really don't want to say things one way or the other.
Well, she already has. I've seen quite a few interviews where Priscilla clearly doesn't like Michael Jackson.
But your daughter described her relationship with Michael Jackson as weird. Weird in a way? That's
All it was, it made us uncomfortable, it was awkward. I knew he had a hidden agenda, so he didn't talk about it.
Well, she couldn't have known it was a hidden agenda. She thinks it was. I've heard this in many interviews. She was clearly against the marriage.
He loved being seen with famous people. And so Lisa Marie was a target, someone he wanted to have a relation
in 2008 after giving birth to her twins. As soon as she got out, she was already addicted to the booze that the doctors had prescribed for her. And then her son Benjamin, your grandson, died at the age of 27. He shot himself in the mouth. You knew then that she wouldn't.
Obviously, I don't want to hear this, guys. This is all a bit. I think I'm just going to go after this bit. But when she starts saying that, she's going to start saying my daughter didn't want to be here. You know my feelings on this, guys. I think it's a disgusting thing to say in front of her own grandkids. Why would Lisa's kids, Riley, Finley, and Harper, want to hear Priscilla telling the world that her daughter, Lisa Marie, didn't want to be alive?
She was living for him at that moment. The relationship between a mother and her son is so strong, she worried about him. All the time. She worried when he came home late. She didn't go to bed like a mother, and she was famous. He was famous too. So she watched over him and she worried a lot as he became an adult, spending time with people who weren't always there for him.
Elvis Benjamin. Lisa Marie, how did you find the strength to continue? Priscilla? I have to find it. I have no choice. There are people who depend on me. I have a son who depends on me. We are extremely close. I'm not going to give up all my life. I don't want to be in mourning for the rest of my life. I have to rebuild my life. I have to go out, do things, bring friends and loved ones back into my life. It's
almost the 50th anniversary of.
Okay, I don't want to go into that response too much, but I'm just saying that the fans are confused. The fans feel that you have gone on with your life as if nothing has changed. If anything, you seem happier. Okay, you're very, very close to your son Navron. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to trash Navron because I feel that Navron is a very damaged child. Yeah. So that's a whole separate story. Yeah. But we feel uncomfortable. We, the fans, are uncomfortable with how you've gone on with your life. As fans, it's none of our business. As fans, it feels like it comes across like you just everything's the same. If anything, you seem happier, which is a very weird thing for me to say. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. As a parent, as obviously many of us here on this channel defending Elvis, we're parents, we're grandparents. Some of us are great grandparents. We don't get it. You lose a daughter, you lose a grandchild, but then you carry on life at 80 years old, doing as much as you can to make more money. It just something feels wrong with it all. That's how we feel.
Elvis' death. Are you dreading this anniversary or are you...
A little bit, guys. I missed it. But I wasn't concentrating on that bit. I want to hear what they say about the museum and Graceland.
Celebration at Grace.
Well, she's an outsider now. She's an outsider. Once she did a deal with Riley Keough, they give her $100,000 a year to shut up. But it's got nothing to do with her now.
Elvis loved this place. He loved Graceland. And the first thing he wanted to do after he died was sell it.
So we've had this conversation many times. I don't think that it was ever going to be sold up and broken up and dismantled. And I don't think Priscilla is the reason it was saved. I don't think Priscilla is the reason it became a museum. I do think there was a point when she got involved. She had power, when she was trustee and all the rest of it. I do think she made big decisions once she got involved, but she's not the reason. I also don't think Elvis is remembered because of Graceland. I also don't think Elvis is remembered because of Priscilla. Elvis is remembered because of Elvis and the fans, yeah? The museum was always going to be a success, yeah? It had nothing to do with Priscilla. But I still say this. If Priscilla didn't exist, if Graceland didn't exist, Elvis would still be massively famous even now in 2025. Nothing to do with the building, nothing to do with Priscilla.
And we categorically refused. No one will ever sell this place.
I do, I've done a lot of research. I do think the Memphis City were trying to buy it and do it for themselves, but they were never going to not do it. The plans had already been drawn up to create the Living Museum. Elvis's home was always going to be a memorial to him. So when Priscilla says in some old interviews, I prevented them breaking it all up and your father, Elvis, would have been forgotten within 5 years, it's bullshit. It's a complete lie. It's a complete con. I actually think Lisa Marie believed it for a long time. I think Lisa Marie, for many decades, believed that Priscilla was the reason everything was saved and the reason her father was remembered. But I also think she eventually wised up and realized that it's bullshit, that Priscilla had done a lot of wrongdoing concerning Elvis, concerning business, concerning Elvis Presley Enterprises, concerning Graceland, concerning Elvis's memory, and definitely with the trash books. The trash books. I think, in my opinion, Lisa knew that Priscilla had done a lot of damage to Elvis's image and reputation and had lied a lot as well. And Priscilla now is doing even more damage with this fake, trashy book. I don't believe half of this book. I think this book is fake Elvis news. Fake Elvis news. And she's also damaging her own daughter and people like Michael Jackson's and people like Ginger Oldham while she's at it. Yeah? It's a trash book, guys. Just my opinion for entertainment purposes.
There are people who helped me save this place, and thank God, we still have it today.
It was being saved before she came along.
I was told they'd rather sell everything, sell the house.
Rubbish. Rubbish. Prove it. I say this to Priscilla. Prove to me that they were going to sell the house and break it all up. Why would Memphis do that? Why would Memphis City do that? Why would they break up the biggest money magnet, tourist attraction? Why would they break it up into little pieces and sell it off? Why? No way. No way.
And I proved them wrong when they said that.
Rubbish. You just didn't let. This is what I've heard. Memphis were trying to buy it for themselves. Someone said there was a $10 million figure mentioned to Vernon about Memphis purchasing Elvis's home, yeah? But they were going to keep it as a memorial. They were going to do the living museum. They were always going to invite the public in. It was always going to happen. They'd even drawn up plans to do it. Even before Vernon died, there was people making plans, including, I've heard, including Colonel Tom Parker, trying to come up with a plan to create a living museum, a memorial to Elvis. So, bullshit.
And it's still the second most visited place in the United States after the White House.
Because of Elvis, not because of you. She says it as if it's because of her. Oh, I created the living museum. I stopped it from being sold. So the fact that it's the second most visited attraction in the world is because of me.
It's still a legend. It's still there 48 years after his death. You could have guessed that his work would live
Yeah, because of Elvis. Because of Elvis. Because of Elvis fans. Not because of Priscilla.
on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. It's still a legend today.
What is Elvis
Elvis, you mean?
Presley's musical heir to you, Priscilla? Rock and roll didn't exist before Elvis. I don't know. Today someone like Taylor Swift, for example, is she an heir to Elvis Presley? No.
I don't know where all that came from.
Thank you very much, Priscilla. It's all in your book by Michel Lafond.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for your invitation.
Thank you, Mr. Hello, Priscilla.
Oh, and I'm sure she was well paid. Well done, Priscilla. You promote your book again. I'm sure you'll sell a few thousand more copies. The bottom line is 90% of the things Priscilla says trashes Elvis, trashes Lisa, trashes Michael Jackson, trashes everything. Removes all blame for any wrongdoing from herself. She never mentions any of her wrongdoing. Never. None of it. Did any of that? Did any of you guys pick up on that? That Priscilla was admitting her unfaithfulness? How she ripped off Elvis on divorce settlements? How she trashed him in books for decades? How she's been getting large amounts of money handed to her in the name of Presley that she shouldn't have got, she was not entitled to. There's no mention of the lawsuits with Bridget Cruz and these disgusting, horrible, scary allegations concerning unplugging of Lisa. Is there any mention of her going against her daughter's will, basically? Lisa wanted to give everything to her kids. Priscilla tried to stop it. Any mention of that? Unbelievable. Any mention of the fact that poor Lisa Marie was molested, allegedly molested by her boyfriend? The damage done to Elvis's image, reputation, even legacy by Priscilla is unbelievable. We literally could talk about it all day. All day. You tell the sweet stories, then you trash him. You tell the sweet stories, then you trash him. That is what's been happening for the last 40 odd years. Yeah. This book should have been about honouring Elvis, honouring Lisa. It shouldn't be about exposing their alleged drug problems, addiction problems, and many other problems that are listed in this book, which was supposed to be about life after Elvis. Absolutely a joke. If I was Riley Keough and Finley and Harper, Lisa's children, I'd be horrified by the things that Priscilla is running around the world saying now, just so that she can sell more of this book, so she can promote her events where she's doing question and answers. She's in England now, isn't she, at the moment, I think, or she's about to be. Guys, I just find the whole thing shocking. And I want you to understand, it isn't in my nature to pick out all of the wrongdoing of Priscilla, the human being. She's a human being, guys. But I am called defending Elvis. I'm called defending Elvis. I'm here to defend Elvis and Lisa and the bloodline. So I am going to stand up to these people, whether it's Priscilla or whoever. I'm going to challenge the people that trash Elvis and Lisa and the bloodline. We've recently done quite a few videos concerning Donna Presley. She also has put herself in the forefront of defending Elvis and Lisa and the Presleys. The Presleys. Donna Presley feels like the Presleys were erased from history over the last 40 years. She said it was a gradual thing. And the person who started all that, who fronted it, was Priscilla Presley. Once Priscilla Presley came to power, she started erasing everything and rubbing out these people, these Presleys. The Presleys are horrified that Priscilla came along, came to power, swooped down and recreated history. Recreated it. And when she recreated it, she erased the Presleys. She took all credit for everything. All that she wants, all that she seems to want, is that the world remember the relationship of Elvis and Priscilla and this perfect fairy tale romance, which is bullshit. There was never a perfect fairy tale romance. There was a very horrible, upsetting, cruel marriage with lots of unfaithfulness and unhappiness. The marriage of Priscilla and Elvis was tragic, and the biggest victim of that marriage was poor Lisa Marie in so many ways. In so many ways. Elvis has always been painted out as the bad guy. Priscilla has always portrayed herself as a victim in a gilded prison. It's bullshit. Don't fall for it. You are being lied and conned and tricked. Don't fall for it. Do your research. Learn the truth. Find out everything. Find out what's been going on for the last 40 to 50 years. The lies. There's so much more to it, but you have to dig deep. Dig deep. This isn't just about the music, the movies, Elvis being sexy and good looking. There's so much more beneath the surface. Elvis was an amazing, beautiful man that changed the world. Changed the world. He was 1,000 times nicer than she portrays him, than Priscilla, who cannot admit any wrongdoing, who has never said sorry. Okay, guys, I'm going to post this live in the comments. I will try and come back one more time. I've got a few things. I do want to discuss that Riley Keough is now concerned about the things that Priscilla is going around the world saying. Finally, we've been waiting for this, because I keep saying to you guys, don't turn on Riley. Give her a chance. Eventually, all these things that Priscilla is saying in these interviews, in her new book, her trashy new book, Softly As I Lie to You, eventually it's going to bother Riley. It's going to bother Finlay and Harper. Yeah. So I'm hoping we're seeing the green shoots now of Riley standing up and challenging her grandmother and saying, look, you're saying things you shouldn't be saying, things that are upsetting my sisters, my twin sisters, things that are upsetting me, meaning Riley. Yeah. I'm going to read out these couple of posts, and that's it for today, I think. I've got a bit of man flu, guys, so you have to bear with me. I'm sure I'll be fine tomorrow. Okay, guys, love you all. Thank you to Defending Elvis. Thank you to Elvis Defenders around the world. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thanks to anyone that bought me a coffee, who wants to buy me a coffee, or sent me a super thank you, or thanks to the new members. It's very appreciated. Thanks a lot, guys. Love you all.